Okay, so we're going to pick back up on Goodbye Butterfly. Finally, I heard a rustling sound. It was Benjamin. I was so happy I began squeaking like the head cheerleader at a rat ball game. I was worried about you, I cried, giving him a hug. I worried about myself, too. One more minute alone in the dark, and I'd have gone completely nuts. Uncle Benjamin cried now, grabbing my paws. I saw it. I saw the valley of Cheesettes. It was unbelievable. It was amazing. It was more beautiful than a room full of cheddar bars. I'm so proud of you, Benjamin, I squeaked. And I was. That nephew of mine really was one brave little rodent. I peeked through the narrow hole, trying to catch a glimpse of the valley, but it was too dark. Don't worry, Uncle, Benjamin told me. I took lots of pictures. It was time to go. I couldn't wait to tell the others our news. Goodbye, Butterfly, Benjamin called over his shoulder. Thank you for the tour. We headed back through the caves. I followed a small light up ahead. It was the entrance to the cave. Then suddenly, a low rumbling shook the walls. Rocks began to crumble down around us. Cheese niblets, I shrieked. It's an avalanche. I thought he said something else. It's an avalanche. Run, quick, nephew, or we'll be trapped inside. Just then an enormous boulder struck Benjamin, and he fainted. I was terrified. I chewed my whiskers. I twisted my tail up in knots. I cried 20 buckets of tears. Then a rock hit me on the head. It must have knocked some sense into me. There was no time to feel sorry for myself. I had to save my nephew. With a groan, I lifted Benjamin onto my shoulders. Did I mention I'm not the strongest mouse on the block? Still, fear had given me strength. I raced for the exit like an Olympic track rat champion. Just as I ran out of the cave, a huge boulder blocked the entrance. Right then, Benjamin opened his eyes. Uncle Geronimo, thank you for saving. I assume the next word is me. Saving my life, actually. He grinned. You're a real hero. I smiled back. I wasn't about to tell him how scared I had been. After all, it wouldn't be nice to disappoint him. Don't mention it, I shrugged, untwisting my tail. Back at camp, my dear relative Thea and Trap were busy. No, they weren't busy worrying about us. They were busy snoring away. Wake up, Benjamin shrieked. We found the eighth wonder of the world. The two sleepy heads were up in a flash. Hundreds, thousands, millions of butterflies. Benjamin told us about the incredible adventure. It seemed our little butterfly friend had taken him to the top of the mountain peak. It overlooked a valley. The valley was long and wide. It glowed in a bright yellow light. It was so bright at first that Benjamin covered his eyes, but when he opened them, he saw the most amazing thing. There wasn't really a light at all. There was just yellow butterflies. Hundreds and thousands and millions of butterflies. And when they flapped their wings, it smelled like cheese, Benjamin exclaimed. That's a weird one. The butterflies were very friendly. They even sat on Benjamin's nose. I took lots of pictures, he finished. I even took one of myself using the self-timer. Wait till you see it. Thea clapped her paws. This is famouse, she shrieked. We're all going to be famous. I'll write the best story ever. It will sell like hot cheese buns in a blizzard. Trap jumped to his paws. I've got an even better idea, he announced. First, we catch a whole bunch of those butterflies. Then we smash them into a book. Then we frame each one. We'll make a bundle. I shook my head. Only my rotten cousin would think of squishing those butterflies. He would do anything for money. Benjamin looked horrified. He turned to me with tears in his eyes. Oh. Don't worry, nephew, I soothed. No one is going to lay upon the butterflies. I shot Trap a look. Besides, I added, there was an avalanche. The entrance to the cave is blocked forever. They agreed. We didn't need the real butterflies. Benjamin's pictures would tell the whole story. She took the camera and roll of film from my nephew. Then she carefully slipped them into a plastic bag. Those photographs were more precious than cheese. They were the only proof of our discovery. Trap insisted on carrying the bag. I wasn't surprised. My cousin likes to feel important. Well, my work here is done. I found the valley of the Cheesettes, he declared. Now, let's go home. I was too tired to correct him. Besides, we all knew Benjamin had really found the valley. We packed up our stuff and headed home. The trip was long and painful. I poked myself in the eye on the sailboat. I was trying to cover my glasses. I didn't want to see the scary waves. Then I sprained my ankle jumping out of the Jeep. Thea drove so fast. I just had to get out, and I fainted on the airplane. We hadn't even taken off. I guess just thinking about my sister's tricks up there in the air was enough to do me in. The only thing that kept me going was the Countess. Yes, adoring and sweet Stephanie von Sugarfur. Soon, I would be famous. She wouldn't be able to resist me. I'll come back a hero, I giggled to myself. When the Countess saw me on Mouse TV, she'd fall at my paws. This isn't a joke. This is a joke, isn't it? At last, we reached New Mouse City. I was so happy to be home. I couldn't wait to take a long hot bath. I couldn't wait to sleep in my comfy bed, but mostly, I couldn't wait to see Stephanie von Sugarfur. Still, there was no time to relax yet. As soon as we landed, we hurried to the office. We wanted to get the newspaper ready. It would be an amazing breaking story. We had found the eighth wonder of the world. I could hardly believe it myself. Oh, I'm sorry, guys. I didn't realize that when I sat back so much. Thea began to make lots of phone calls. Yes, yes, darling. I've already written a thrilling article, she exclaimed. Of course there will be pictures. Tons and tons of pictures. You'll see the stunning valley. You'll see the gorgeous butterflies. I've got the photos right here in the office. She turned to my cousin and winked. For one reason, Trap was looking a little pale. He flopped onto a chair. Sweat was dripping down his fur. Maybe he was just overexcited. I was excited, too. It wasn't every day you became famous. My sister hung up. Then she turned to Trap. Okay, cousin, give me those pictures, she demanded. We've got to get them developed right away. Trap sunk deeper into the chair. Well, I might have lost them, he then said, smiling nervously. My sister's jaw hit the floor. Her whiskers started to tremble. Steam poured from her ears. She narrowed her eyes at my cousin. This is one of your silly jokes, right? She shrieked. I stared at Trap. I had a funny feeling in the pit of my stomach. For once, my prankster cousin was not joking. Trap managed to smile at my sister. Well, I might have left them at the camp, he exclaimed, or maybe I dropped them on the beach. Or I could have left them on the speedboat, or maybe they fell out of the Jeep. We did hit a lot of potholes, you know. Thea tried to grab him by the throat, but he was too quick. So she chased him around the desk, squealing at the top of her lungs. I tried to calm them down. Take it easy. It's not that bad, I offered. Uh-oh. Wrong thing to say. Thea stopped running after Trap. Now she was coming after me. One thing you should know about my sister, she has an awful temper. Once I ran over her furry field mouse doll with my tricycle. It was an accident. I mean, I was only a mouselet at the time. Thea got so mad, she smashed my trike to pieces. The only thing left was the horn. Now she turned to me in a rage. It's not that bad, she shrieked. How are we going to prove we found the Valley of Cheesettes? Before I could think, Benjamin piped up. Wait a minute, Auntie, he cried. I've got an idea. He lifted his red hat. A small yellow butterfly flew out. It sat down on his shoulder. She must have hidden under my hat when we were in the cave, Benjamin said, grinning. Isn't she cute? I call her Cheesette. She was fascinating. She was bright yellow with holes like a slice of Swiss. A cheesy smell filled the air around her. I watched the small butterfly fly around Benjamin. Thea broke into a wide smile. That's it, she shouted. We don't need pictures to prove we found the Valley of the Cheesettes. We have our own Cheesette right here. And I mean everything is the next chapter. Hello. Am I speaking to Geronimo Stilton, the national hero, the famouse publisher, one of the mice who discovered the Cheesette butterfly? Said a voice. I cleared my throat. Yes, I am Geronimo Stilton, I began. It was the next day. I was back in the office. I had been getting phone calls all morning from reporters. It seemed my family and I had become famous overnight. Now everyone wanted to know everything about us, and I mean everything. They wanted to know what kind of cheese I liked best. They wanted to know what kind of fur brush I used. They even wanted to know what kind of underwear I wore. It was crazy. My calendar was booked with interviews on TV. At the rate things were going, I wouldn't be free until next Christmas. Just then, my secretary, Mausolea, came charging in. Mr. Stilton, the phones are ringing off the hook, she shouted. The operator has quit. The fax machine is spitting out paper, and the computers are busting with emails. Wow. She paused to catch her breath. By the way, she continued, did you know there is a Geronimo Stilton fan club on the internet now? I sighed. Being famous wasn't easy, plus the reporters had told me that an unmarried hero was the most popular kind. Now every female mouse in New Mouse City was out to meet me. I was more popular than a grilled cheese sandwich at a weight loss clinic. Oh my God, that's bad. Suddenly, we heard a rumble. Mausolea let out a shriek. Your female admirers have broken into the building. They are about to storm the office, she cried. But don't worry, boss. I'll get rid of them. Maybe I can throw them a hunk of cheese or something. She raced off with a determined look on her snout. I shook my head. Then I stared out the window. Up in the sky, I spotted a plane carrying a banner. It read, "I love Geronimo Stilton." Right then, my cousin Trap strode into the room. He winked at me. "Guess what, Garrykins," he said. "I have a surprise for you. And it's right behind the door." I groaned. I really wasn't in the mood for one of my cousin's tricks. "I don't have time for fun and games, Trap," I said. "I'm trying to get rid of these female admirers. They won't leave me alone." My cousin giggled. "Come on, Jerry. Barry. Just come open the door," he insisted. "The fortune teller was right. You'll like this surprise." I scratched my fur. I thought only Thea had known about the fortune teller. How strange. Still, what had the fortune teller told me? She had said I would become a famouse. Well, that had certainly come true, and after I became famous, she said a certain mouse would fall in love with me, madly in love. Could it be true? Next chapter. I said no. I opened the door, and there she was, my beautiful, charming, sweet-smelling Countess Stephanie von Sugarfur. Only now, for some reason, she didn't seem so amazing anymore. She sauntered up to me. "Oh, Geronimo, darling," she whispered. "I'm so glad you're home. Thank you so much for the roses and the delicious chocolates were delightful." I blinked. Oh, yes, now I remember. I had sent the Countess flowers and that huge box of candy. How strange. It seems like ages ago. So much had happened to me since then. "I want to hear all about your trip," Stephanie went on. "Every last detail." Ooh. I twirled my tail. I had been talking to reporters all morning. I just wasn't in the mood to tell the whole story again. "Well, we went, and then we came back," I mumbled. "It was no big deal." The Countess frowned. I could tell she was waiting for me to fall over her. But the truth was, I suddenly wasn't interested in her anymore. Oh, she was still a beautiful mouse, but my heart wasn't beating wildly like before. My paws weren't sweating, and I didn't feel the least bit dizzy when I looked at her. So I told her I didn't love her anymore. Stephanie turned pale. I think no one had ever turned her down before. She was used to getting her mouse. First she yelled at me, then she cried, then she tried inviting me to a dinner party at the mayor's mansion. But I said no. Want to know why? I couldn't care less. Maybe I was just tired, or maybe I was just tired of the Countess. Now that I had helped discover the eighth wonder of the world, she didn't seem so special anymore. Oh well, I guess that's love for you. One minute you're in it, and the next you're not. Next chapter. Hello, Garrykins, dear. That night, I was so happy to be home. Alone at last, I said with a sigh. I unplugged my phone. Being famous was harder than I thought. Reporters called me all day long, and my female admirers were everywhere. They followed me to the breakfast. They followed me to lunch. I was tired of my staring at me while I ate, all of these beady little eyes watching my every move. They giggled when I slurped my soup. They sighed when I dropped my napkin. It was enough to make a mouse quit eating altogether. I decided I needed to unwind. I made myself a yummy mozzarella milkshake. Oh. Then I took a steamy hot bubble bath. I had just climbed out of the tub when my cell phone rang. "Hello," I squeaked, annoyed. I wasn't really in the mood for chatting, and all I wanted to do was relax all by myself. "Garrykins, dear, it's your beloved sister," Thea's voice shouted. "I wanted to invite you to my place. Will you come?" "Okay, I'll be waiting. Bye." I stamped my paws. "Now wait a minute," I shrieked. "I don't want to go out." But it was too late. She had already hung up. I dragged myself to my sister's place. She lived close by. You'll probably think I'm one lazy mouth, but I'm not. I just needed my lazy night. Of course, now I was stuck waiting outside my sister's front door. She better make things quick, I thought. I knocked on the door inside. I could hear lots of exciting giggles. Then she murmured, "Shh." Everyone fell silent. I pushed on the door. It opened. I blinked. The room was completely dark. "Anyone home?" I asked wearily. "Surprise!" Suddenly all the lights came on. "There he is. That's my brother, Geronimo Stilton," they shouted. 38 female mice began to shriek, "Geronimo, Geronimo Stilton, we love you," they cried. I felt faint. My heart began to pound. My whiskers shook. "No, this is not happening," I told myself. Not on my do what I want night. Not on my pig out on cheese night. Not on my be by myself night. Maybe I am just having a bad dream, I decided. Yes, that must be it. I tried closing my eyes. I tried practicing some meditation. I tried sneaking out the front door, but before I could escape, Thea grabbed my paw. "Sit there at the head of the table, big brother," she instructed. "My friend here wants you to tell them all about your trip." Then she leaned close to my ear. You better make it good," she whispered. Meanwhile, Thea's friends were hanging all over me. I could hardly move. So I hate to do this, but I'm going to have to stop and then start another video because we're going to run out of time. Sorry.